Good evening, everyone, and welcome to GrayManPrepping. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. It is time for Survival Saturday, and tonight's topic is droughts are impacting food production, but mainstream media is quiet. Wonder why. How's everybody doing out there? So, let me I got to get one thing out. I'm going to probably, I got a little short clip I got to show up here several times. I'm going to start out by getting one here. It's 8 seconds long. So here's the first one. Okay, so I'm going to pop that up a couple more times as when we get into this, because I got other videos from other channels I want to put up and news things and stuff. So that's going to be popping up as I bring stuff up, just to keep the platform honest. Hang on a minute. Let me get that going. There we get the light on. So that, all right. So first of all, let's say hi to everybody. Let me get over here. First, come on, let's go here. First one in was Walt Rogers, then Phelan Clan Wolf, then Shady Hill Homestead, Sumi came in fourth, KDD Greatest Gameplays and Vlogging came in fifth. It's the Marshmallow Man, Tammy Harder, Geeky Gardens. Oh, I missed you with all the stuff going on. I forgot to put him on the other thing, so it's a good thing I do it this way. Jack, welcome. Rebel Candace is here. And of course, I did throw out 5 gifts there. So I can go back over to the other ones so I can see who all got them here. Gift member here. These are 30-day memberships. So I went to Eric Paul, LJ, Vase Place, Bacon Hero 83. I love that Bacon Hero. Cowgirl Hippie Chick. Yeah, there's 5 that got that. Let's see who else came in here now. It's Diana Two's here. Suzanne Galley is here. Chef Tech is here. Everyone's talking. Caitlin Strain is here. Holly Ivans is here. Utah Mike is here. Sula Dean is here. And okay, so I got that there. All righty. Some other housekeeping news. Let me go ahead and drop the link in here because I know a couple of you guys that want to come up here and talk about tonight's topic. And it helps when I'm not sitting up here by myself. And I forgot my water in the other room there. So I'm going to get a cough drop out. Went and filled it up because I knew I was going to be drinking water. I left it in the other room here. Yeah, and so yeah, so Katie is Alicia Autism Mom's daughter. So got that. All right, so tonight's topic was suggested by somebody who is in the chat. The person doesn't like to be named out, kind of humble. I like that. And and once again, they were able to send me, I misplaced the email, but when they sent the replacement, oh, wait a minute, I do have it down here. I just did, the topic line is what threw me off on it. So I got a bunch. I repeat, I got a bunch of links and stuff for you. I got a gnat flying around here. Grandkids left the door open this morning when it warmed up, so the gnat started flying again and came in the house. So I got a bunch of links. They're in the bottom of the description. So all the way down the bottom is Bob Leo. But I'm going to show them here in a second here. But the problem what's going on with this is that there are a bunch of problems in food-producing areas of the world that the mainstream media is quiet about because they don't want us to know about it and get worried, because if we do get worried about it, we're going to start thinking. And if we start thinking, well, the red wave would have been a lot bigger. So because, it's part, going to conspiracy theory mode here. It seems to be that a lot of a certain group of people politically are buying up a bunch of farmlands and disabling them, putting them, just letting them go to weeds and everything else and not using them. And when there's problems in the other parts of the world, it drives prices up here, which makes us spend more on the food we get and have less to do the things we need to do to, get property paid off, get ourselves better situated for emergencies. And here comes Tammy. Hey, Tammy.
Hello.
I'm always Mark's not here yet, but there's a lot of things going on with this that, and I really shouldn't call it conspiracy theory. It's more like spoiler alerts. Because just about all the conspiracy theories over the last 4 years have been coming true, and they're like, oh, spoiler alerts. So let me throw this thing here up. Go to the next page here. So these are all the links I'm going to try to touch on tonight. And they're all, there's Mark coming in. And they're all down in the description, so you guys can go look at them yourself. Now, some of the links may not work right, so you may need to highlight the link. Some of them, like the European Drought Map, should work. But some of the other ones, you actually got to highlight it and go into it to get it to work. I tried it out. I don't know why some of the links work, some of them don't. Maybe the platform is screwing with the links, the hyperlinks. Anyway, yeah, Holly, that's what a lot of people thought. So I got some stuff here to show you guys that it's going to put that into a little bit of doubt. Joe's here, Garden State Gardener. And for those of you that weren't here last night on Friday night in the homestead, did the 5,500 subscriber giveaway. 3 people donated their winnings from the gift cards to Tammy.
Thank you so much. Going towards the getting rid of the Red Baron fund.
Okay, so that was another $20 towards that. And along that lines, I want to tell everybody, if you really want to support a channel fully, besides becoming members and all that stuff there, like on it, when it comes to super chats and stuff, probably going to get hit for this one. Don't. Because right now I've noticed that on super chats and stuff, the platform is taking 60% instead of only 30%.
Let's just leave it at the simple fact that a super chat is great if you're if you're getting lots and lots and lots of them. The problem is the creator doesn't get the full amount. Let's just leave it there.
The creator is only getting 40%, if that.
YouTube gets the rest.
Yeah, and YouTube's supposed to be only taking 30%, but they're taking 60% or 70%. So the way to get support channels, Amazon gift cards. You put $5 on it, you email it to them, they get it all.
Yep.
Yeah, they did a survey for me, and YouTube did, about how are you satisfied, and I'm like, I'd be more satisfied if you were more transparent and you did what you say you're going to do with things.
Mm-hmm.
And I specified, they were like, more information. I'm like, super chats.
Yeah.
Oh, we changed our terms of service 3 weeks ago. Didn't you read the 4 million pages of legalese mumbo jumbo? I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Yeah.
And even though they put out in front, on the thing when you go to monetize, you get so much of this and so much of that. Bull pucky. Anyways, let's jump into the actual thing tonight. because there is a friggin' boatload of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And with the one person in the chat that sent me most of this information, again, thank you very much. And that person does not want to be honored, so being very humble. And yeah, 2 thumbs up for that. All right, so the first thing I got here has to do with Europe, and this is one of the links that I was sent. And so actually, let me jump over here. Where is it?
Hey, Tammy, hit your mute button.
And I'm going to hit this here up. So boom, there it goes. All right, so this is for this one here coming up here, and all these other links doing covering it under several things under the Fair Use Act. So current drought situation in Europe. Yes, this is a month or so old. Actually, mid-October. By mid-October, and oh, geez. So the yellow is watch, the orange is warning, the reds, bang, are alerts, and so this is the this is what's going on. This drought's going on. I guess that's Iceland up here in the upper corner up here. Drought's going on. I mean, the heel of Italy is got warnings and alerts going on. Yeah, it's not good. Everything that's going on here. So let's see some more maps on this. Okay, and the article goes into a little bit more, and so you can do. And they got when you bring it past once you check history on it. So that's the first one on the links that's down in the bottom, which you guys can look at later on. Next one here, let me go ahead and I'm just going to take this one. I'll just keep it up there and go to this one here. So this is intense widespread drought grips South Africa. And
South Africa or South America? I thought it said South America.
South America? South America. Okay, there was another one about maybe there's a video about Africa. So this is South America. Yeah. So South America is let me see if this is going to work here.
Yeah, it's in Brazil. They used to be good, now they're not.
Yeah, Brazil, Argentina, Chile are all having problems, droughts. Some of the farmland that they've in Brazil where they have cleared the rainforest out to put more farmland in. Guess what's happening to that farmland this year?
Dust Bowl.
Exactly, Dust Bowl. And so, here's the map. Aha, I knew the map was in here. I saw it. Can you say, "Oh my stars and garters"?
Mm.
That is friggin' bad.
Where the rain's been going?
Well, you got all right. So Venezuela, Colombia, Bolivia's getting hit. Argentina, Brazil. I mean, look at that. Oh man, that's bad. That's down to southern Brazil is where a lot of their ag is, and it's being devastated. And even the areas that are still rainforests aren't getting rain. The rainforests are taking hits. So, and there's your and this is and they're doing groundwater percentile ratings here, and like down here on Cape, what is it? Is this Cape Horn?
Mm-hmm, Cape Horn.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's down. It's down to the into the dark brown.
I think I'm wrong. Is it Cape Horn is on Africa, not South America?
Yeah, it's Cape Verde or something.
I misspoke.
So it's Cape Hope?
Yes.
Okay. But look at that. Dang.
Yeah, nobody lives down there anyway, but that's besides the point.
But if you look, there are some areas that are getting into like the 98th percentile on groundwater.
Yep.
But
Panama right now is having flooding. But they have a lot of rain in the area that I'm talking about.
This was sent to me several months ago, So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Right now, Panama is having flooding.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's one of the things we're going to get into here in a little bit about how drought, when it ends the drought, what happens gets bad. And let me go on to this next one here is a video. I'll just leave it up there so I know what I'm looking at here. So this is Sicily. And dang it. I got to reshare this because because when I do the countdown, I can't have the audio shared. It gives an echo. So give me a second. Let me take that out. Let me go back in, present. All these notifications that pop up. Share screen, entire screen, that, add sound, share, and it's back. Okay, and put this up to volume up on this. And this is from the World Today and talking about the crisis here. So we're going to listen to this a little bit. Hopefully the volume is loud enough for you guys.
This organic farm in the heart of Sicily has been the breeding ground for hundreds of Gorgentana goats, an endangered species from the island's south. But due to severe drought, farmer Luca Camerata says his future and that of his beloved goats is uncertain.
Non si tampona questa emergenza.
If we don't deal with this emergency, our zootechnical and genetic heritage will all be slaughtered, and the Sicilian territory will lose a lot.
Perderà tanto.
The last time the 53-year-old saw any significant rainfall was 2 years ago.
Invece ora non c'è un goccio d'acqua in nessun posto.
There's not a drop of water anywhere. It's something very sad.
The famous Lake Pergusa has also dried up. It was Sicily's last source of natural water. Climate experts say that by 2030, a big part of the island will be affected by desertification.
Just imagine 87% of the water of the entire region of Sicily is already gone.
So far this year, every month has set a new heat record for Sicily, while at the same time there's been 40% less rainfall. Fire authorities say this season could be one of the most challenging.
Last summer.
All right, so I'm going to stop it there. You guys, the link's down below. You can see watch the rest of it. So that's Sicily. I mean, this is the island which has always had lots of water, get the Mediterranean rains, and the freshwater lake, the last one is gone now. It's been 2 years since they've had rain on the island. That is absolutely nerve-wracking.
And when it does rain, those hills are going to turn into mud flows, and everything's going to wind up being dead level, and it'll just be a wreck. Unless it drizzles a lot on and off for like a year, then it can rain.
Okay, I forgot to bring up my other thing here because I was doing that video, the disclaimer video. So CR is in the house. Who else? Kate slid in here while I was chatting on this. Okay. So, and according to the numbers here, we got some more people out there lurking, so that's fine. Please, lurkers, hit the thumbs up. All right, next one here, video here, is the Brazilian drought. I mean, yeah, we showed the map on it. I'm just going to play a little bit of this, and the full video is in the description down below.
What was once a flowing river is now drying up into a difficult sun-baked path. The Brazilian Amazon, Humaita villagers are walking across the hot sands of Rio Madeira's riverbed to gather water, trade, or travel to nearby towns. Though they are accustomed to the river's seasonal changes, this time they are facing the worst drought in Brazil's history. Water levels in the rivers that run through the vast Amazon rainforest have been falling after a record drought followed by less rain, with rivers becoming more difficult to navigate and water too dirty to consume.
All right, so yeah, and so they were walking across what was the riverbed. So that
was a very wide river too.
Yeah,
it was also shallow, so it doesn't take much to dry it. I'm not demeaning it.
Yeah,
it doesn't take much to dry it down to a point because now they're in the main river area where it goes down to like 30 feet, but still,
yeah,
it's all
It's
sand
still,
dunes.
still a lot of water. It may be thin and wide, but it's still a lot of water.
Yeah.
All right. Savage Lee just came in, and Christy Betts is here. So yeah, like I said before, all these videos and articles are down in the link below. You might want to take some time later. Well, not maybe later tonight for some of you, or tomorrow, to look at them and check them out. These are other people's videos, so I don't get any credit on these, but this is important information you should have. Now we're heading over to the land of the Red Dragon.
Put your disclaimer up again.
Yeah, I better put the disclaimer. Yeah, hang on a second. Let's put the disclaimer up again. So this is fair use. So we are doing news reporting, hey Lewis, commentary, and education on this. All right, so let's check this one out. Give me a map in the center there. Drought in the north, rain in the south. Going to all the different countries over here in Eurasia. Right. Even up in Switzerland, oh, now they're hitting us. Out in some areas, flooding in others. So this is Switzerland here.
That was after a flood. Yeah, that was after a flash
what comes
flood.
to your mind when we talk about Switzerland?
All right, so this is a 24-minute video. I'm not going to go into my distance. I've done a documentary covering a lot of stuff. Once again, this is something that, to realize what's going on everywhere. And, they get drought areas, and then they get a heavy rainstorm comes in, and the soil has dried out so bad it can't absorb the water. And what do they get? They get landslides, mudslides, flooding. It's just bad. And so that's what's going on that they're talking about here. Let's look at another one here. This is China south hit by deadly floods. North suffers drought. So this is another one from over there.
Is receiving too much rainfall in the south and not enough in the north. Southern China is witnessing severe floods. At least 71 people have died. Tens of thousands of others have been displaced. Meanwhile, northern China has been hit by a drought amid a heat wave. But China is not alone here. Thanks to climate change, nation after nation is experiencing extreme weather events. Here's a report.
Thanks to the changing climate. Yeah, let's not give it a pronoun. Let's just tell it what it is.
And that thought about crops destroyed is one of the problems, even though it's because I remember, last year I think it was the other way around. South was short of water, and the north had excess water.
Well, the north had excess water, and then the dams started letting them go, and it just started flooding towns out in China. They just didn't tell anybody. They didn't care.
Yeah. But the whole thing is changing around and just screwing things up left and right. And with that goes food production. So if China's losing its food production, they're going to have to import more food, which means they're going to pay more for it on the open market, which is going to drive prices up everywhere, including here in the U.S. And some of the U.S. Big conglomerates are going to go, ooh, we can make more money selling it to China than we can here at home. And
They did that 2 years ago. China bought the most rice ever from California and the United States 2 years ago. They never bought rice from us. They were always an exporter. Then they're buying ours. So where's our rice going? Oh, it was going to China. They were stockpiling it because they kind of knew. But anyway.
But yeah, and so the price for us to get it goes up even more. All right, so this is another one. This is a 5-minute video, 5.5-minute video. You may want to check this one out. Once again, the links are all in the very bottom of the description here. Next one here. This is how things are going. This is Yellow River breach. Oops. And it goes through the province's floods, turning it into a vast sea. And get the volume up on here. See if we can.
Heavy flooding through China's Henan and Anhui provinces after Typhoon Babinka brought torrential rains on September 19th. In an effort to alleviate upstream water pressure, local authorities diverted water into a century-old disused course of the Yellow River. This action led to a breach in the Yuchen section of Henan Shanqiu City, unleashing a deluge that inundated areas including Minquan, Yuchen, Xiayi, and Yongchen in Henan as well.
Can you say oops?
Yeah, let's put up dams everywhere, and then we got to let it release. Oh, let's just divert it over here. We haven't used it in 50 years, and
we don't know if the rodents have burrowed holes through it, which they did, and so that's why they that one section there is they hadn't used it in years, and whoops, and so now everything below it got destroyed, crops as well. So this is the 19-minute news article here, showing all the flooding going on here, and you can see those peaks down there on a thing where people have gone back and watched it over and over again for the highest view on it. So it's just and a couple of years ago, they did not have all this water. All right, next one here. Another one here. So China's largest freshwater lake is drying up just 3 months after a dam breach. So 3 months after that last video is this one.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing holding the water back again.
Yeah.
So of course
this video was posted on October 15th by a man living near Poyang Lake. It shows the water levels in the lake rapidly decreasing, revealing many dead fish on the lake bed. Recently, a piece of news from China has caught attention. The water level of Poyang Lake, China's largest freshwater lake, has dropped below the extreme low level of 8 meters, setting a new record for the fastest water retreat. The Jiangxi Provincial Hydrological Monitoring Center has issued a blue alert for hydrological drought. On October 10th, the water levels at the Xingzi and Hukou stations on Poyang Lake were recorded at 7.83 meters and 7.78 meters respectively, both below the critical 8-meter mark, triggering a red alert for aquatic wildlife protection. Experts predict that Poyang Lake may face another drought in 2024. Compared to the winter of 2023, the availability of aquatic plants and animals, which serve as food for migratory birds.
Yeah, and so this was from last year, and it's still going on this year.
Did you notice the haze in the background of every single video clip they showed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything in the background was just a haze of whatever, smog.
Dust and dirt.
And smog.
Smog. So that one's down there. The next one here is all right, now we're going to shift here for a minute. So let me go back over here. So one of the things that's going on with these countries going from drought conditions to flood conditions is that when the soil gets like it is here and down around us here, where it's cracking, it's breaking up, it's getting hyper dried out, and it's basically what happens when water does come out on it, it takes forever for it to get back into the particles of soil, because the particles of soils, when they have water, say, are about this size, and as they dry up, and all the little pores and stuff are sealed tight, and the water just doesn't flow back in. It takes forever, and I can't remember the name of it.
Hydrophobic.
Hydrophobic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it basically is sort of like, and it can't, and it takes forever, not forever, but it takes days and stuff for the water to get in for it to start soaking up. So I've noticed that when my timer malfunctioned when I went to California for a week, came back and a couple of the planters were drying out and stuff. I put water on it, and I had all this powder come through the surface because it was so dried out it couldn't get water into it, but it had air into it because all the water was gone, so it floated. And it took several days of keeping it wet for it to get the water to get back into the soil. And
everybody's had that happen with a potted plant. You neglect it for too long, for a week or so, and you pour water on the top, it runs right into the tray in the bottom. And then you let it sit for a day or two, just keep adding a little water to it. It'll slowly drop back up, and your plant will be like, thanks. Finally, you gave me some water.
Yeah, thing like with a on CR posted that compost is hydrophobic at first when you first start doing it until you get water into it. And same thing with biochar. You do biochar, you put water on biochar, it kind of floats, and it takes a while for you to get the biochar to soak up the water.
Yeah.
Once it does, woohoo, it's good. But like your potted plants, you pour the water. If you have a tray, saucer, whatever to hold the water, the bottom will start. It will start getting the water into it. As it does, it's going to swell up and seal off the bottom, so the water's not just running past. And it'll hold water, so it'll hold water in there a little bit, but it's still hydrophobic until the upper parts start getting the water to absorb into it and stuff. And then it'll also start siphoning the water out of the tray back up into it as well. Okay, I'm just checking the things here. Okay, collapse of ecosystems needed to fill billions. Collapse of final. Yeah.
Yep.
And all right. Okay, I'm looking at this thing here.
It's like canning is great, freeze drying is great, but freeze drying, you need water. If you don't have water, especially you can eat it if it's cooked food or whatever, but it's going to suck the moisture right out of your body to try to, things with no moisture crave moisture, whether it's dirt or food. And if you don't have the water for it, it's going to find it, or it'll just ruin whatever.
All right. So, so what it is like for us here, what can we do to help our soil survive droughts? Now, I couldn't find it. I talked about it last night. I went looking for the reel on it. And I'm not sure if it was Kansas or Iowa. They were doing an experiment on a farmer's field, and they took and did a patch of some working the soil and doing things to it, and deep putting in some compost into it, fertilizer, not just doing surface, the top 6-8 inches like they do most of the disking and stuff you see that farmers do.
Was that the video I sent you yesterday?
No, that's a different one. I got that one. That one's queued up next. I couldn't find this other one. And basically they went in there with 3-foot rippers, and they just tore up the soil. And as they tore it up, they were putting stuff down and mixed it in and stuff. They're doing a quick version of what Howie does. And what they discovered was when they get the biomass down lower into the soil, they weren't tilling it up and breaking up all the
biomass. Yeah.
No, begins with an M. Mitochondria or whatever it is. But basically they were just spreading it, putting the stuff down in there, and then did back over it. And that area, they showed the crops were bigger and greener. And right next to it were like it normally was. And then after they harvested the crops, they went in and dug across it sideways. So they did a strip like this, and then they dug across it. So they saw it and the soil on either side of it. And you had some dark brown, almost blackish soil for the top 6 inches or so. And then brown like this the rest of the way down. It wasn't dark. But when they went through this section, it was down 3 feet, and a little bit farther, it was black, because it had with all the biomass in there, the worms and the bugs and the mitochondria, everything was able to work, and the root
mycorrhizae.
Huh?
Mycorrhizae, not the mitochondria.
Yeah. Okay. All the way down in, and and so the soil was very healthy down deep. And then they also discovered that area, after the initial watering, took less water because it was trapping the water down deeper away from the sun, so it wasn't evaporating, and the roots are going down deep to get the water. Whereas the other ones, they had to put more water on it to get it to, because it was evaporating as well, and there wasn't a reservoir of water being held in the soil.
Yeah, and the crop on top was, even though it was evaporating moisture through the leaves and that, it was shading the soil below better, so it didn't get as hot and evaporated out.
Yeah, so the bigger plants were doing it.
Yes, that's how it's spelled, like mycorrhizae.
Mycorrhizae. Yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you. I'm learning new words and I still get them confused. So
I went to a class today and studied all about stuff like that.
Joe, do you need me to put the link out there again? If you want to come
For
up
what?
here.
6 inches? Oh, for him to come up.
Yeah. Howie's here. So so this next video is one that Mark sent me, and then I found the guy on Facebook as well, or Facebook, I like calling it. And so I'm following him on Facebook as well. And Teresa Buchanan's here. And so, but this is a very interesting one. This is 19 minutes long. I'm not going to play it all, folks. If any of these videos you watch, this next one is the one to watch. Okay. Over. So this is Weeds Are Not the Problem. And this is from Soil Works LLC. And this is Glenn.
It's the time of the year that people are talking about weeds. Some experts will say a weed is just a plant growing out of place. I get their point. Some people will say a weed is an indicator of something. Other people will say a weed is a sign. We have many people that say weeds are medicinal plants that are used for healing. I believe all these people are right. But one thing to think about is a weed has a completely different appetite than a food plant. To be more specific, if you have weeds, undesirable plants growing within your crop, let's just take a look at your crop. And it doesn't matter if you're growing watermelons or radishes or carrots or soybeans or corn or alfalfa or walnuts or olives or grapes. Weeds are a problem, the undesirable plant. The food crop that you're growing, it loves and needs available calcium and phosphorus. Those are the two minerals needed to start the process. Once you have available calcium and phosphorus, then the plant wants to make sure it has carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. Okay, those 5 things: calcium, phosphorus, carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen make up the handful, the core, the beginning, the fulcrum, the foundation, the basis of what a plant is made of. Guess what a weed doesn't like? It doesn't like available calcium. It doesn't like available phosphorus. And it does not like carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen in elevated levels that your crop does. So when you see a weed growing, You can say, "Ooh, we must have a calcium deficiency or a phosphorus deficiency or a carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen deficiency that allows that medicinal, not nutritional, but medicinal weed to grow." How do we know this? Well,
all right. So I'm going to stop you here for a second. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it might have been I forgot his name, the Green Wizard. I can't give his name. Anyways, was talking about dandelions are a sign that your soil is sorely lacking in calcium.
That's why dandelions grow in cracks on sidewalks, and roses die if their calcium is off by like 0.01.
Yeah. But what I did was I followed his advice. I went and I got fast-acting gypsum, which is calcium, and put it out on one part of the lawn. And I put it out, and then I put out a couple weeks later, I put some more out, watered. Early spring, it snowed on it, and put some more out. And then when it warmed up enough for the dandelions to come up, dandelions came up everywhere in the yard except for where I put the calcium down.
Yep.
And the grass was so green there. So
and grass is technically a weed, but it depends on what the grass is because we can't really eat it, but you can, I guess.
Oh, I can eat grass. I can eat grass secondhand.
Yeah, well, I do too.
Grass is technically a food crop, Mark, because it's the ancestor of all of our wheat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so the thing is on this stuff here, and then he's going to go into a tool where you can test it and stuff. I have the tool saved on my Amazon wish list, but I'm not getting it because I'm being a good boy until the staff says I can. Hey, I respect my wife. So, and he's going to go. We're going to play it here again, some more here, and he's going to talk about the tools and stuff he uses to test it and things you can do too.
Oh, one of the last videos, we talked about a refractometer. And a refractometer is a very simple piece of equipment. And if you've never heard about it, you're in good company because a lot of people haven't. It's a quite recent development. The first refractometers were created by Dr. William Bricks for the wine industry to measure the sugar content of grapes to have consistent, wonderful wine. And this was created back in the mid-1800s. This has been shunned. It's been giggled at. And they said, I don't know. Other people that have gotten a refractometer and checked their plants, they said,
in this home, other than
okay, got a ad
utility
here.
bills, surprises are my worst enemy. Yeah,
I've had one of those goofy things for 15 years, and we haven't figured out any way to make it move. Well, one way to make it move is checking a weed compared to your food crop. A food crop really isn't a food crop until you're at least at 10 bricks, B-R-I-X, or 10% sugar. What I mean by that is when we look at this, I'm just going to put a little water on the top of this prism. There's the blue plate there. You put a couple drops of water on there. Close the lid and look to the light, and the light will refract through the blue prism of glass and show you exactly what the sugar content of, let's just say, this water is. Obviously, this water has a sugar content of 0. Why am I talking about all this? Because when you get it.
All right, so I'm going to stop it there. Guys, this is the video. I'm going to throw this in the chat as well. This one here is important enough that I'm going to throw this one in the chat. And if you're going to do any gardening, you may want to check this one out, and you'll learn a lot from it. Now, along with this,
He's got a lot of videos, and I've watched a lot of them. That one really struck a chord, and I'm like, everybody needs to see this one. But if you go to his channel, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I have no idea who this guy is. Yeah, just start digging through his videos, and you're gonna be like, holy crap! He talks about soil compaction and PSI and things, and it's just, I mean, the guy is like an absolute dirt rocket scientist. I don't know what else to call him, but
yeah. So I got two more things here to show up here. I'm going to see if it works on this next one here. This one is the 6 inches of soil.
Throw your disclaimer up. Oh, if you're not going to play it, but
I'm not going to play this one because right now the link I got to it comes out as watch the film online UK only, and Prime Video. You got to go if you're going to watch it on Prime Video. You got to go in and change settings in there so you can watch it for free. I'm not going to. I wasn't going to do that, but it does have down here. I'm going to see this. I'm going to. Now it says rent. This may be a. This may or may not be just like a trailer. You're going to do it.
6 inches of soil feeds 8 billion people.
We already grow enough of all the human essential nutrients to feed everyone who's alive.
Farming is the single biggest cause of biodiversity collapse, the second biggest cause of climate change.
Soil is the most valuable resource on the planet, and we're degrading it without even realizing.
We have come to believe that money is more important than soil. That idea has to change.
Regenerative agriculture is farming that we're producing food, but also farming in harmony with nature.
You're working with nature, not against it.
The more people see it, the more that they realise that it works.
Having a regenerative agroecological system, that is surely the solution.
Soils are absolutely phenomenal in the amount of carbon they can store.
What we absolutely need now is urgent action from the government.
Until you deal with 9 retailers who have 94.5% of food sales in Britain, you're not going to have a level playing field.
Consumers have a choice. They can decide to buy cheap meat from industrial farms, or they can find farmers that really value animal welfare and the environment that we're farming in.
Dad started regen farming for the future generations to come, and that was the most selfless act he could have done.
The people who are doing this are making big sacrifices.
I think the potential is absolutely huge here.
These farms really can change the world.
It's all about the soil, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so 6 inches of soil.org is this one here. It's, you know, it's amazing. Glenn's here. Build your soil. Yeah.
And I want to say it because Howie's in the chat, but Pathway Soil Banks. Bank your soil.
Yeah.
You know.
And so what's interesting on this, I'm going to pull this down here for a second, bring this up. There, on the reels I've been watching, and I got to go back and see if I can find some of them, about some cattle ranchers here in the U.S. that are bucking the trend and doing soil regenerative ranching.
So I'm really excited. Did you see my post about Joel Salatin? He is one of those ranchers you're mentioning.
Yeah.
Joel Salatin, the lunatic farmer and a self-proclaimed libertarian, has been asked to join a task force of 6 advisors to the soon-to-be named Secretary of Agriculture in 2025. And he has accepted, and he has posted that on his social media. That is just amazing. Regenerative farming, and he is definitely the world's most famous farmer, and he is not a fan of big ag. And that's going to turn everything on its head, and that's wonderful. It may
So
save our food chain.
But watching these guys like Joel and some of these others out there and what they're doing for their cattle ranches and stuff, and how they're doing it, and not just clearing land and hauling the wood off. They're clearing an area to make more pasture, but then they're getting the wood, they're chipping it and putting it into the soil and
banking it.
Soil.
Yeah, they're banking, they're soil banking. They are building it. They are, taking their hay discards and spreading it out on the ground and covering the ground as ground cover so that new hay, comes up, and just, working with the contours of the land instead of causing erosion. And, and having the lanes that have the other plants in it, and having, windbreaks again with pollinators. It's just amazing.
Yeah. So the next movie that the I guess 6 Inches of Soil Org is doing is about bees. Which,
nice.
Yeah, I wish they'd make this open more than just in the UK. These videos, the full length videos, about having to jump through 40 hoops to be able to watch it. Now, Joe, I sent you that video from that Glenn guy with the fractometer and stuff. Seriously, you should see about getting him up on Grow Big TV.
Yeah.
Try to get Joel up there too.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
At this point, everybody wants him.
Mark, he's already agreed to go on several channels you're familiar with.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah. And one of the things about these channels I've been watching here on YouTube, and the reels are in Facebook, but they're from their videos on YouTube, is that when they're doing the stuff, they're not housing the cattle, they're keeping the cattle out there. The cattle walking on the land actually helps work the land to make it work better. The poop gets worked into the soil, it gets aerated, and when it does pour down rain on it, it all disappears into the soil. It doesn't run off floods.
Now, there's other science there, too, about rain hitting your soil and then it flushing the nutrients down low where your plants still can't get to it. So there's a lot of science there, and that guy talks a lot about it.
Yeah. So that's on Grow Big TV, Joe's other channel with Courtney. This was last year, I think it was, or whenever it was in the first couple of months of Grow Big TV, they had him on there. So if you go back to it, you just got to scroll back till you find it. But that was a good one there too.
And RFK, I hear, is going to be our new Secretary of Health.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be one hell of a ride coming up.
Yep, hang on.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, he's amazing.
Yeah, there's
amazing person as well.
Between him, unless they get someone of like mind to be Secretary of Agriculture and the FDA and everything else, there's going to be, if you can get some good all people on the same page for health, the whole thing. Woo! Yes, yes.
Joel did say who the Secretary of Agriculture is supposed to be on his page. I just don't remember. The name wasn't something I'm familiar with. I don't remember. But Joel Salatin already knows who the Secretary of Agriculture is going to be and announced it. It just hasn't been announced publicly elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm looking forward to, hopefully they will do, and with Joel in there, hopefully he will be able to push it enough that they will ban Grazon totally and ban I always butcher the
glyphosate.
Glyphosate and glyphosate.
Yeah. Just totally ban the use of those in the U.S.
That's the problem. People, it's like, oh, I have weeds. Let me buy a weed killer. Oh, now I have this problem. Let me buy another chemical. Oh, I have this problem. Let me buy another chemical. No. Fix your soil. Not with chemicals. Fix it. It may take a year or so, but fix your dirt. I actually had a conversation. I was at my buddy's house pulling one of his old cars out of the weeds to get rid of it. And the neighbor who just harvested all his corn, I don't know what kind of corn it was, he was out there baling the silage. And he stopped to hang out. And I was like, dude, I have a question for you. I said, you baling the silage. I said, that's great for silage, whatever. I said, but you're just taking every bit of nutrient that came out of the soil and into the corn, you're taking it away. I said, why don't you just leave it there? He's like, we've thought about it, but we make money doing this. I'm like, yeah, now you're going to have to. My buddy lives right in the middle of all these fields, literally in the middle of it. I was like, well, at least let my buddy know here that you're going to spray so he can stay out of the house for a couple weeks as you spray the fields with and spread all this stuff you're buying from the local farm supply store to make it better. I was like, it's not, you're not helping it. That's why he has to rotate his crops, because certain crops grow better with crappy soil.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Glenn says it took 6 years to fix his soil. And Joe says he got a questionnaire from RKF about who to have administration IT. Okay.
That's
cool.
neat. That's really cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The next one too, I got dropped. I can bring the next one up here. This is good. I have a weed killer. It's called a spade.
Yeah. Well, sure.
But yeah.
I could say other things, but I won't.
Yeah. And CR says he's on 5 years of chop and drop, which is Howie's a big fan of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like on the property across the street, the idiot that had owned it before and died years ago, and the son had done nothing with it for several years. So they finally just wanted to get rid of it, and fortunately just timed it right to buy it. I'm bringing in truckloads of wood chips now, and when I get it covered with, hopefully I'll get enough wood chips on next year and getting it covered, get it disked in, the wood chips disked in, actually go through a bottom plow, just turn it over and then disc it flat again, and then get the dairy to bring over, manure and dump it, and just, because the dairy grows their own. The dairy here grows their own manure and turns it out gives it out to, or sells it to the farm stuff. But for local people like us that have less than 5 acres, they'll just bring a truck over and dump it for you. It's one of their public service things they do. But the stuff they grow and the alfalfa they buy and everything is glyphosate free and grazon free.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So that's why I want to get that out there. If I can get loads of that on it with the wood chips and stuff, hopefully it will in a couple of years it'll start producing good alfalfa, so I can put sheep or cows out there, and they'll start pooping on the soil and making it better themselves, and then we get beef or lamb out of it. But that's one of the things we're trying to do here, is try to, that soil out there, it grows morning glory really good. It grows a Russian bloom really good. And dandelion's really good. Well, dandelions grows the flowers really well. I want to be able to get stuff in there that I can use to help us get a usable food in there. And so that's one of the things I'm working on with this too. Now I got one more to share here. It's the last one on the bottom of the list there.
I got lots of milkweed on my property, and I'm reluctant to take any of it down because I get lots of monarch butterflies there.
Yeah.
But those caterpillars also do damage to other things. So it's like a quandary of, okay, what do I really want to do here? I want to fix the soil. I'm not going to fix all 4 acres of open land. I'll fix patches where I'm going to put fruit trees and stuff like that. The rest of it, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, it's going to get lots of wood chips, but I don't want to take away my monarchs because I love those.
All right, so let's go to this next one here. This one's called Common Ground. And So it says in select theaters now. So this is probably just a trailer for it.
What I'm about to tell you is a matter of life and death. If the soil dies, we die.
The facts have been proven. Roundup does cause cancer.
If you burrow deeply enough, there is a pipeline of money from the pesticide industry into those universities. They're getting the kind of science that money can buy.
Nature is the mother of us all. And if mama ain't happy, we're
But there's a way to save our precious soils. It's called regeneration.
Regeneration is not just restoring the land to the state that we found it at, but actually making it better.
We have added over 96 tons of carbon per acre into our soil. Can we mitigate climate change? Absolutely.
We're going to check the underwear in the regenerative versus the conventional soybean field and see if we can tell a difference between the microbial activity.
Underwear, I think it's clean.
We eliminated insecticides, pesticides, herbicides. We are saving upwards of $400 an acre. It works out to be about $2 million a year in savings. That is serious cash.
I forgot my suit. I feel like I'm underdressed. But if you are the people who can make a change, well, it's high time to finally get regenerative agriculture. Let's prioritize the farmer.
Out here in the fields.
Okay, I don't want to get a copyright strike on that music. Okay, so Thomas Massey was the head of the Department of Agriculture. Here's a trail of what he's about and his farm. A farmer is the secretary of the Department of Agriculture. Wow!
Wait, a senator with a farm that works? Wait, what?
No, not a
Congressman. Sorry.
So, yeah, we talked about it, but if we can get the land here going and working right, she says we'll put up with it. We got like 3-4, at least 4 years worth of firewood if we have to use firewood. And once we get all the soil going again, we'll be planting other types of trees that we can harvest and plant new trees and turn stuff back into it. So yeah, we looked around for about 3 months at other places, and then Helene hit the areas we were looking at.
I'm in a quandary also about, I have so many of these little pine trees, like, okay, little, I mean up to like 14 feet, but they're not that big and they're very weak, that I've pushed over and piled up. I'm in a quandary. Do I rent a wood chipper, which would probably be 4 days of chipping wood because there's a lot of trees, chip it and spread it? Or do I call my local fire department and say, hey, I'm going to do an ag burn and spend 4 days just, hanging out with a tent and a bunch of friends and just burning it and then spreading the carbon around? It's a mix between the two right now. I haven't figured out which one's better.
Well, I'm trying to convince the staff sergeant to loosen the purse strings to buy a 75 horsepower track loader.
Wood chipper?
No, track loader.
Right.
And get the one of the attachments when you get to the front is a forestry chipper. Which means
it just chews a tree down right to the base. Yeah.
And you can go down, you can go foot down in the ground with it and just chew up the roots and everything else with it.
You better get the insurance on the front glass on that thing, because you will break a few windshields.
No. The company that makes this one will not sell it to you, and until you can buy it, but they won't ship it to you until you've proven you've installed ballistic glass on the front.
Yep, exactly. My buddy rented one and took out his windshield within the first 3 minutes. He's like, really? But it has a guard on it. It's like, it doesn't matter, dude. That thing hooks a rock. It came right at him. He ducked.
Yeah. The Daniel at Arms Family Homestead got one, and they showed the installing of the ballistic glass on the front of his track stair. Not a skid.
Yeah.
It's not a skid steer, a track steer, a mini track loader. And and you just watching some of his videos. He's got the wild cedar there in Oklahoma, which everybody considers a weed. And here's all this nice lush compost. Yep. And he's turning it into soil for his where he's getting good stuff growing for his cows, his goats, and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's just one my buddy also rented for his bobcat or whatever he's got. It looks like a brush hog on the front end, and you tip it straight up and lift it as high as you can. You can come down on a tree. He was chipping up to 8-inch diameter trees, shredding them right to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, Christy, the reason this is that they have the mulchers, the stump grinders and stuff on the front of some equipment, and it takes forever to go through things. These things, you have to have the special plumbing hoses to use the full power of that 70 horsepower motor.
You need the high flow. You need the high flow.
The high flow, and it just goes through this stuff. And this thing's like a big old friggin' wheel with big old carbide teeth on it, and it just it's fun to watch. Oh, she said fat thumbs. Yeah. So
oops.
that's one of the I would love to get that track stair rather than if I had known back in the beginning of thinking right and had really forced the issue with my wife, we probably would have gotten one instead of the Coyote.
Hey, chuck the StreamYard link back up for Tammy.
Oh, okay.
Which one of us is reading the comments as we go here?
Yeah, I'm not watching the other one. It just popped up here on the other about the same time you said it. So, but yeah, that's that. I would rather have for my land. I'd rather have a track steer on it because of the attachments, the post hole digger on it. There's just the shredder on it, the buckets, and everything else. It's just so much more versatile.
I wish they would make one for my Coyote because I got the quick connect for the front and I got the hydraulics with the for the grapple. I wish they would make one. They probably make one, but I don't think the hydraulics could keep up with it.
What they make for the Coyote in your size is one of the baby ones, and it's more like a you don't drive through it. You go and it slowly eats up and chews up to go through. So it's sort of like where you want to take out 1 or 2 trees and that's it. I'm going to clear 4 acres here and turn it all into nice mulch and turn it into the soil and regenerate the soil. Hey, Prepper 101. Woo!
That's why I think I'm just going to get a wood chipper, and all I have to do is grab everything and cut the root wad off of it, so I'm not chipping dirt and rocks.
You also got to make sure on the wood chipper what size it can handle.
Oh yeah, no, I got up to 6-inch wood, and I got to make sure. No, I'm talking a toe behind one that'll handle like 12-inch logs.
Yeah,
I can rent that for a weekend or a week, and it'll cost me like $600, but it's cheaper than buying one. Just get the insurance on it if you rent one.
Yeah, and check with tree service companies because sometimes they're not too busy in the wintertime, sometimes, and when there's not a storm around, and sometimes they'll rent it out just to get a little extra income on it, and make sure they have.
Tree services are one thing, but a rental company, they'll give you the insurance on it because if you mess up a tree service one, they're going to charge you for it.
Well, that's why you get it with the insurance. If they make sure they offer the insurance on it too.
Right.
All right. So coming up here, folks. All right. So Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound, it's the 1 year anniversary of Tammy and I doing canning stuff on Mondays. And so we're going to look back at what stuff, topics we've done over the last year. We're going to look forward to future topics we're going to be doing. As always, we're looking for suggestions for topics for of what you want to learn and know, so we can provide that information to you. So just send either Tammy or me an email, and we can get it added to the calendar schedule I got over here on an Excel sheet. Tuesday, back here on GrayManPrepping, this Tuesday is all about my novels.
Ooh.
Including Against the Wind.
Nice.
That's one of characters on from Against the Wind. That is Sarah, aka known as Lightning Death by the Navajo.
You froze.
And you froze.
I froze. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'll beat
So
CR to the punch. What a novel thought.
So we're going to go. I'm going to have 3 of the novels that are completed available for people in the side chat to if they want to get a PDF version of it. It's locked. It's non-printable, non-copyable. But yeah. Also, I'm going to be recruiting people to be not editor, proofreaders on some of my future novels as I'm doing it to catch my ubugus. Ubugus are like at the beginning of example would be, all right, I want you guys to take over and do that. Quote, he said, and the he is small case instead of uppercase. Or we can't do that. Or we couldn't do that. That would ruin the machinery. Couldn't spelled without the N apostrophe T on it. That word is probably my biggest ubugu. Is forgetting that, I'm typing I'm going so fast I forgot to continue I do could instead of couldn't. But so yeah, exactly.
You need to do it on you need to do that on an iPad with a keyboard so it'll just autocorrect for you as you go.
Well, the thing is though, I got the writing software stuff. It doesn't catch that particular one.
Yeah.
Words are correct and I could have different meanings. It doesn't know what my meaning is. It's all writing software is stupid.
True.
Some of us, it depends on the character, whether it's spelled out or whether it's a contraction or whether it's hillbilly speak. I do have some hillbilly speak in there, and that just totally screws up the spelling software.
I don't do that.
Y'all kind of talk funny, and that line is in the book. And the person saying it is not a hillbilly because she's talking to someone of the royal family who just strung a whole bunch of highfalutin words together, and she goes, "You all kind of talk funny," as a joke. They're friends, but anyway. So that's one of the things that happen. It's stuff like that. But so
Yep.
Well, I like to say it's not artificial intelligence; it's artificial idiocy, and they got that mastered. They got the artificial idiocy mastered. So anyway, so that's what's on. Going over my novels, going to get some out, and Kaylin is getting the updated version of the one she got 2 years ago. So I've added 30 pages to it. All right. Let's see. That's Tuesday. Thursday's the Midnight Ride. Next Friday is When Storms and Gardens Collide. And then next Saturday is Dealing with Youth in a Difficult Situation.
I thought we did that one already.
I'm not talking about dating or going to school. I'm talking about disaster events and, problems.
Oh,
and
that's
stuff
right.
like
That was one of the ones you tried to do and you were not on.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that had problems. I had to postpone it. I got the other one done though. We got the other one done a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so that's what's coming up here for the next week. Tammy, are you going live on Thursday?
You're muted. Hello, sign language.
Sorry. No, I will be dealing with youth in a difficult situation, sitting in the parking lot while he does a play, and I am the transportation to and from that. So I don't know that I'll be available this week. I may come live from the parking lot. We'll see.
Depending whether or not they got the Wi-Fi blocked or the internet blocked.
That is the problem with that school, is that they have a Wi-Fi block, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
This
Well, they don't want people like
That's
you hanging
because
out in
they
the
got
parking lot
somebody-
using their free Wi-Fi.
That's because they got somebody on the school board who thinks I got elected, so I know better than everybody else, and I'm also smart, and I love camel toe, and yeah.
No, it's because I'm related to the IT guy, and I don't think he's all that in a bag of chips. I don't think they know where the school lines end, because like a block from the school, the blocker is still in effect. If I was a neighbor to the school, I would be
soon to school. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that they put a blocker on to begin with is the other person.
Yeah, that's the person. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, people. I want to thank everybody for coming in here. Once again, all those links and stuff for the maps and the videos and stuff is in the bottom of the description. And then probably one of the most important ones is the one from Soil Works LLC, and that's
Good
with
stuff there.
the guy named Glenn, and dealing with the refractometer and talking about the sugar levels.
I think a lot of us on here are going to be binge watching that tonight and tomorrow and the day after, going, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap.
Yes.
How come nobody else teaches us this stuff? Why did I have to find it on some random YouTube video? Yeah, that's what I did. Exactly what I did.
And when you said it to me, that's what I did. I watched probably about 10 of his videos. It's like, dang, so much to learn. The guy has excellent information. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming in. We're going to wrap it up now. And remember, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill. Grow an indoor garden. Start now, because on January 1st, we start the Indoor Garden Challenge for 2025. And we're going to see who can grow the most food and who can win the most Amazon gift cards. All right, folks. Take care.
See ya.